Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to One Hub Racing. This is the Pinnacle Tier Season 12, round number 19, which takes us to the Mexican Grand Prix. My name is McGinley, and joining me in the commentary booth, as always, is John Worth. Jono, how are you tonight?
Really good, thanks, Kieran, and happy to be back again. And yeah, another exciting racing prospect, I think. And yeah, looking forward to see what happens.
Absolutely, and well, we were sort of building up before the stream started here, and you were saying, "Oh, I don't think I've ever won here, Kieran." Looking up the stats, oh no, Jono, you've won it once.
Yeah, that's
good memories.
Just a memory. Yeah, obviously really good memories of this track. I was just saying to you that I didn't really like this track overly as a driver, and yeah, never thought I'd gone that well here. But it turns out I managed to somehow rob a win off somebody by the it in the past.
Yes, and also who's won here is Odems as well. So two experts of the track. Running behind the scenes. Jono, Nico Rosberg described the Mexican Grand Prix as a go-kart track. Do you see where he's coming from?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? We've got the huge, obviously, main straight into turn one, and but then some quite sort of tricky sections as well. Sector 2, you've got obviously the sweeping S's turn 7 to 11, and then that obviously very slow final stadium section. And that really steady turn 13, so bit of mix of everything, but I always felt it was quite a handful to to nail a lap here in an F1 car.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's one of my favourites. I picked up one of my only podiums in league racing, so I'm a big fan of the track, and it's the S section that gets me. You could tune the car however you want, low aero, high aero, or whatever. That S section of 7, 8, 9, 10 through 11, there's no chance of overtaking. It is simply, turning the car in and hoping for the best. And what I sort of used to do was run the aero low and sort of really, really hoped that the car would steer in.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels really good, that sector, when you hook it up. But, at the same time, very easy to get it wrong and run wide and obviously invalidate your lap. And that will be tricky for the drivers in qualifying. And it was a sector as well. I always find it difficult then when you jumped into the car at the start of the race with a heavy tank of fuel. Going through that sector, suddenly the car felt so heavy, and just judging how much slower you had to go was always a difficult one. But yeah, it is a good part of the lap, and especially on the hyper soft tyres that we're going to see here today in qualifying.
Well, Marley then setting the early pace, 1:14.1. He's easily bettered by Matt there with a 1:13.7. There we're looking at the driver's champ for the season, Samster. It's fair to say he was pretty happy about it, but now he's sort of focused on building momentum for next season. And how important is it, Jono, if you've got these remaining races, to just keep building on that?
Yeah, I think Sam will still be determined to win as many of the races as he can. The championship's done, but obviously he was missing last week. But and in that week he saw his big rival, of course, take the victory, didn't he? So this week Sam is back and will be hoping to do the same thing. And he'll have lofty ambitions for next season, I'm sure, coming in as Pinnacle Tier champion, whatever tier he ends up in. And so yeah, he'll be using these races. Every race, every lap you turn, you learn something. And so I'm sure he'll be doing that until the end of the season.
And obviously with the decided on a qualifying night, do you see Samster qualifying for a higher tier?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, we know that the prestige tier it's very, very quick, isn't it? It's quite a big jump, but I mean, Sam he's not been so dominant in this championship for no reason, has he? He has been a great driver and a quick driver as well. So I'm sure he'll be capable, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to make the step up, but it will all come down to nailing that qualifying lap, won't it, on the qualifying night. And it can all depend on the circuit as well. Will it suit him? But yeah, I'm sure he's got lofty ambitions for the future.
Of course, we've already seen Ferrari wrap up the Constructors' Championship, so how likely are we to see some of the top runners maybe skip qualifying and try and come from the back in races like these?
In my experience, it doesn't happen very often. Often drivers talk up that they're going to start from the back and try and work their way through. But then I think once the race night comes along and qualifying gets underway, they want to go out there and put in a great lap time, and they want to win the race. So I think that Sam and will be doing that, and I think Donkall and Co as well. I think they want to win races, so I'd be surprised if they do. I think they'll want to go out and get as good a job done in qualifying as they can.
Matt in the chat saying Sam is definitely quick enough for Prestige next season. With Sam in the chat saying, "Shush, Matt, be quiet."
Quite confidence, perhaps, from Sam there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Marley then. He's been showing some good qualifying laps recently. Would you be backing him for pole position here at Mexico?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. It's anyways, it's a very short lap as well. We're already down in the 113s there from Matt FNG. So short lap, you can sometimes see the field very closely packed together. And if you don't get that quite right and nailed, you can find yourself quite a way down the grid.
Donkall setting a lap time of 1:13.1. So that is the fastest we've had so far today. The 3 selection of tyres, Hypersofts, Ultrasofts and Supersofts. And Jono, you and I were talking about strategy coming into this race and how maybe anyone who qualifies in the top 10 on those Hypersoft tyres could be going for a 2-stop today.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't see that very much, do we, in F1 anymore? But I'm quite excited about the prospect, actually, of some 2-stops here today. So I hope it comes to fruition. Not very often that we run the 3 softest compounds available as well, the Hypers through to the Super Softs. So yeah, the drivers will be enjoying that as well. I'm sure, having all that grip available to them. But yeah, it does sound like the favoured strategy, perhaps, if you start in the top 10, is to run the Hypers and then 2 sets of the Ultras. But we will wait and see.
Well, in the pre-race interviews, obviously Odem's behind those ones. He was asking, the curbs are here are very dangerous. Do you feel you've got them under control? White Fountain said, I've come across curbs that are way more dangerous. I feel like I can handle them. And obviously Odem's talking about one set of curbs in particular, is turns 1, 2 and 3. They can be brutal, and if you get them wrong, it can really send the car wide. If you catch them and are running low enough, it can actually spear the car off the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in qualifying you've got to run the risk, you've got to attack the curves hard to get the lap times. In the race though, drivers might take a little bit more care, and yeah, it's not worth the risk, like worth sacrificing that small amount of time just to make sure that you get around the race in one piece.
And when White Fountain was asked, how do you rate your season in particular, he gave it an 8.5 out of 10, so that's good to know.
Yeah, definitely. White Fountain, we always talk about him, don't we? He's always up there, 5th, 6th place around there. He's had some good results, and always Mr. Consistent as well, and always makes his way forward from his qualifying position.
And here he comes across the line, and it's P4 at the moment. It's a 1:14.199. Very close to the 1:13s, but just not quite. Marley might, meanwhile, 1:14.1 on a set of super soft tyres. Now, tyres are interesting around here. The only time you really see the difference in the tyres is that section through turns 7 to 11. And even then, that sort of prioritises aero grip rather than mechanical grip at some parts of that S section.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see. Obviously, most of the guys, I imagine, we've got a real mix at the moment. A couple of super softs thrown in, but obviously 8.5 minutes left of the session yet. But as I say, perhaps drivers will try and avoid the hyper soft and try and get through with as good a result as they can on the harder compounded tyre. Open up the race strategy a little bit for them. But at the end, those last couple of attempts will always just come available to you when you bolt on the hypers.
Well, here comes Sam through that almost hairpin section of turn 6. It seems like it's 2 corners, but it's counted as 1. And here we go then through this S section, now coming through turn 9, then through turn 10, and then through turn 11. You heard Sam there having to lift off. Going through turn 10 there, as we make our way now towards turn 12. Bit of that curve on the inside there. As we now make our way towards turn 13. After 36 laps, this stadium section becomes littered with confetti. It's a great sight to see.
Yeah, definitely. And Sam then exiting the final corner, all about traction. And he crosses the line then. So what's that, a 13.2? So he's a 10th off Donkall there at the moment, and provisionally at least on the front row.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lukey was asking us both in the chat, Jono. Are we both looking forward to the charity event? I am, absolutely. You know, to see champions come back, it's a fantastic idea to pit all the champions together and see who is the quickest.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about it a bit beforehand, weren't we? And there's been a real buzz about it on Twitter, on social media as well. So much interest, and it's going to be an absolutely great night, I'm sure. And I'm hoping we get lots of viewers as well on the stream, and of course, lots of donations and lots of money for those brilliant charities.
Absolutely, and don't forget that is on March 29th at 8 p.m. You can join myself, Odems, and I believe we've got a third commentator in JB joining us. So 3 commentators in a box. It's going to be chaotic, but join us for the chaos. It's going to be great. That's March 29th. 3 great charities we're searching for. And obviously one hub donating 25 pence for every point that's scored in the night, which is fantastic. So £50 and 50 pence will be donated on the night in total. Should be a fantastic night.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it very much. And yeah, end of the month as well, so not long to wait. And wow, that just makes you think how little of this season we've got left as well in front of us. So yeah, these drivers, not many qualifying sessions left of the season.
No, absolutely. You know, 3 races to go. There's Marley there in the Renault with a 1:12. I'm just trying to see that time against the background. It's 1:12.9, I think that is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's quite hard seeing purple on then blue, then green.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a 1:12.9. But yeah, on those Hypersoft tyres, the Renault driver grabbing provisional pole position. And yeah, it just makes us realise what a journey it's been, Jono. You know, it seems like only yesterday we were starting Australia for the first time, and I was quite nervous at meeting the 2-time champ.
Yeah, and you're still here all these rounds in as well, so I haven't scared you off, which is going to be a positive thing.
Somehow I've stuck around, Jono. You didn't try hard enough.
Absolutely.
Lawrence there, just across the line. He's put in a 1:13.9, which puts him into 6th place. And let's see what tyres he's on the Hypersoft tyres. So a lot of drivers not using the Ultrasofts at the moment. Does that come as a bit of a surprise to you, Jono?
Yeah, perhaps so. Yeah, we've got most of the drivers in the pits now as well. With 4 minutes 40 left, so we're going to get the usual splurge, aren't we, at the end, and we'll see lots of position changes, I'm sure. And Mr. Qualifier himself, Farthber, is out on track on an outlap as well. So what can he manage today? I think he mentioned in the chat earlier something about qualifying, and yeah, can he hook one together this week, I wonder?
Yeah, well, let's hope for the Mercedes driver, as there is no reflow tonight. So, I mean, what a story it could have been between Samster, reflow, Donkel. We've often mentioned earlier in the season, what if Donkel was here a little bit earlier in the season? But I suppose to Sam, that all doesn't matter. He's a champion, and that's how he's earned it. CSS then posting a 1:14.4. which is enough for P9 up into the top 10, and the first driver to settle that on the ultra soft tyres, actually Scorpion. No, my mistake, Scorpion is there in 7th place. But Sam won't mind too much. He's happy to take away that trophy and, of course, book himself into that race on March 29th.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, Sam won't care about that, will he? He's been the man over the course of the season. In league racing and in esports, you know, drivers always come and go, so you're always going to get some people coming in late and missing rounds and what have you. But yeah, you've just got to go out there and do it every week, haven't you? And that's what Sam's done. And I don't think there's one driver in the grid or anywhere in the paddock that would, that would say that Sam isn't a deserving champion.
There is Fast making his way now towards turn 6, and well, the first lap here is going to be a very interesting one. Turns 1, 2 and 3. There is quite a bit of space on the entry. Don't be shocked to see people trying to make it 4 wide, but it narrows as you go in towards turn 1, and it's a left, right, left. So if you're starting on the outside there, as Fast completely cuts turn 10 out, makes his own track there. We'll see you at Interlagos, I guess, then, Fast. As well, he'll have to go again for another lap. So right, left, right. I think you're going to correct me there. Turn 1, 2, and 3. I don't know my lefts from my right, Jono. This season's been quite an exciting one. I've lost all direction.
Yeah, I was saying no because of Farth cutting the corner, as you mentioned. He had to bail out of that one, didn't he? So he's back in the pits, 2 minutes to go, and he'll have time though to bolt on another set of tyres quickly and get back out. But he'll be egging his pit team on, won't he, pit crew, to weed him in and get him out as quick as possible.
It's going to be a tight turnaround though, only just over 2 minutes on the clock, and he's just made it into the pit lane, back into the garage. Of course they have to wheel you in, then you have to select your tyres. He should make it out on time, but only just.
Give us racing pit stops and let's steer Codemasters, please.
Well, there is Sam's then on his outlap. We've got Matt then, who is on a flying lap. You can see there 2 cars behind him desperately weaving along the straight. It's actually got a little bit cloudy during the race, or during qualifying I should say, so track temperature may be dropping slightly, but shouldn't be too bad, shouldn't affect lap times too much. But Matt then in 4th place at the moment, 1:13.7. He's got a bit of time to find.
Yeah, Matt could be a bit vulnerable with that, couldn't he? Keelan as well, only a 10th further back in his 2nd race of his return, I believe, so he'll be open for a good result today.
And Fast retiring from the session. He obviously realised he ran out of time.
Yeah.
And I'm West retiring as well. Let's have a look. Matt then, I thought was on a lap, but he's looks like he's backed out of it, so he's going to go again. And on those hyper soft tyres, which, well, let's face it, they're not going to last too long in the race. That's far from ideal for Matt.
Yeah, that is far from ideal. It's a bit compromised, not ideal at all, but got to make the best out of it, haven't you? And yeah, he'll be coming around the final quarter to start his lap now, so yeah, he's got to put that behind him now and just try and nail this final lap and try and get on that front row if he can.
Marley also on the charge then, the only person to be in the 1:12s at this moment in time. Donkel making his way around the final 2 corners, now coming through turn 17 and making his way now down the long straight all the way down towards turn 1. Samster's already on that straight, making his way towards that right. As you turn in there, you've got to watch those sleeping policemen almost on the inside of these curves. They can really unsettle the car if you're not careful then. Samster with the DRS wide open now, making his way down the shorter straight towards turn 4. That sort of left-right section here. The first 5 corners will probably see the most action on this track. Maybe a move up the inside of turn 6 then, but you've got to be brave and you've got to be side by side. Watch out for that as an action zone for the first couple of laps. Now Samster making his way now through turn 7, then it's 8, 9, 10 and 11 as these corners come at him quickly, and you hear again Samster having to lift off once again. Maybe he's not got the aero grip, maybe he's prioritising the straights as I once did. As Samster now makes his way down towards turn 12, now towards the stadium section of turn 13. As he now tries to keep the car under control through turn 14, now making his way around the final corner. That's Lawrence, by the way, up to P4 in the Force India. How about Samster as he makes his way towards the line? It's a 1:13.0. He does improve, but he stays in P3. Marley can't improve on his time, and Donkel 1:12.9. misses out on pole position by the slightest of margins then, as he will take 2nd place in this race. That is qualifying all done and dusted, and Marley in the Renault takes yet another pole position in the Pinnacle tier.
He's just squeaked it, hasn't he, from Donkel there, and Sam a few tenths further back. And as you mentioned, Sam's car just didn't look quite hooked up through that S section, did it? He got a bit of understeer through turn 8 and that then put him offline through the rest of that section. But he'll be pretty pleased, I think, to be on the 2nd row and alongside his long-time rival, of course, Donkel.
0.02 of a second, that's all it was between Marley and Donkel. Then it's Samster in P3, Lawrence in 4th, with Matt in 5th, Kian in 6th. White Fountain is in 7th with Scorpion in 8th, CSS in 9th with Lukey in 10th, Brumadinho in 11th, starting outside the top 10, Chopper in 12th, I'm West 13th, Jaw 14th, Heskey Time 15th, and it's all too familiar for Farth, not setting a lap time in qualifying. He just can't get qualifying right. He'll be hoping to get a good amount of points heading into the race.
Yeah, he will. We've seen him have some decent recovery drives in the past. I guess you can only go forward from the back of the grid, can't you? And he's going to have to do that again today, unfortunately. So 19 rounds down and still Farth battling with this form in qualifying.
So hopefully we're going to see a dry Mexican Grand Prix. There's nothing worse than having a track that's got, you know, high speed behind it and then for it to rain. So hopefully the track stays clear. And obviously, if you're wondering about the Champions Race for Charity, again, that will be on the 29th of March at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It will be two races. Race 1 is one-shot qualifying with a 25% race, and then the second race is the grid reversed from the results of the first race as a 25% race. So there could be a little bit of strategy in there. You know, you might not want to win that first race. It saves you from starting last.
Yeah, definitely. I guess not winning the first race, but being somewhere towards the front, I guess, gives you maybe the best chance of getting the best points haul overall through the two races. But we shall see. That'll give the drivers plenty to think about, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and if you do want updates on that, don't forget to follow One Hub Racing on Twitter. It's at One Hub Racing. Go and follow them, and they'll keep you up to date with all the updates as they happen, including drivers and the commentary teams, including where the stream will be and also donation links. We hope to see you there. For tonight, though, we're focusing on the Mexican Grand Prix with 3 rounds to go. Who can sort of build that momentum towards the next season? The next qualifying night is going to be crucial for some of these guys. It could be their ticket into the prestige tier. And, well, for Marley, he's looking pretty much on the dollar. Qualifying has been absolutely amazing for him. He set some fantastic laps, and yes, he's pipped Donkel by 0.02 of a second, but you know what? 0.02 of a second is all you need for pole position sometimes. He'll be starting from the front of the pack then. Let's have a look at the tyres, of course. It looks like the top 7 are starting on some Hypersoft tyres, with Scorpion in 8th place on Ultras, same as CSS, and also the same with Lukey. So expect actually 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th there to maybe try the one-stop Ultra Soft to Super Soft. You got Brumadinho there in 11th on the Ultra Softs, Chopper in 12th on Ultras. Iron West is starting on the Super Softs, one of the only ones to do that, with Jaw starting on Ultras. That is Hester Time on Ultras. Bath at the back there, also starting on Super Softs. And it's going to be interesting, Jono, as we come to the end of a very short formation lap, to see how long these Hypersoft tyres will last.
Yeah, absolutely it will. That will be the key to this race, perhaps. And also, you know, can Donkel and Marley, can they keep these positions off the line as well? With this huge run to turn 1 here, in previous seasons, we've seen slipstream often mean you're almost at a disadvantage being on pole position, and we've seen them get swamped before by drivers behind. So watch for the slipstream effect into turn 1, and big braking, of course, as well. So plenty of chance for incidents if drivers get it a bit wrong.
Well, here we are then for the Mexican Grand Prix, for the Pinnacle tier. 3 rounds to go. And who will be able to walk away the winner of the Mexican Grand Prix? Moments away then here for the One Hub Pinnacle tier at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. 17 corners, 36 laps await us, and a track that is 4.3 kilometres long. We are waiting for that Red Bull there to finally get into the grid position. And here we go then. The lights will be coming on any moment now. And here we are then for the Pinnacle tier Mexican Grand Prix. 5 red lights. Round 19 is underway, and what are the starts like? They're going to be crucial then as we head down towards turn 1. Looks like Sam's has got a fantastic start then as he goes in the middle of a 3-wide battle then as we head down towards turn 1 for the very first time. Watch out for the skirmish then. It could be 4-wide. Here it is, 4-wide as we head down towards turn 1 for the very first time. The Renault on the outside there. Looks like the Force India's taken the lead. Lawrence from P4 has got up to the lead of the race. What a start as Debris flies off there as we see Marley drop all the way down to P4 then. Great start from Lawrence. He leads the way as we head down towards turn 4. Watch out for the battles behind then as we head through here. There's a car off there. Not quite sure who it was as we make our way now through turn 5. Coming now towards turn 6. It looks like the Toro Rosso there of Scorpion is trying to make grounds here. Matt hasn't had the greatest start in the world here. He's currently battling away for 7th place with Scorpion as he tries to launch it up the inside, trying to defend there, and Scorpion got a little bit of a tag there as Matt there tried to go through, and Lawrence is out! Lawrence is out from the lead of the race! Oh my goodness, I can't believe it! And he's crashed there. Oh, that's on the That's on the exit of turn 11 there. Must have hit the curb at the wrong angle and lost the car completely. Well, that's going to hand the lead to Samster as we see a Force India of Brumadinho make up positions then. Remember, he's on some ultra soft tyres, fresh ones at that, as we make our way through turn 16 and 17. We've lost Lawrence then, but at the end of lap 1, Samster leads from Kian, Marley, Dunkel, White Fountain, Matt, Scorpion, CSS, Jaw, Farth, Einwest, Lukey, Brumadinho, Chopper and Heskey time.
Ooh, what an opening lap, and I just mentioned, didn't I, about perhaps pole position not being the ideal position, and as you mentioned, Marley and Donkel both dropped down to 4th or 5th. Obviously now they've gained that position back as, unfortunately for Lawrence, making that error there after a great start and moved down the inside into turn 1. But unfortunately all over for the Force India driver, but Sam will be delighted, won't he? Out in the lead, where he likes to be, and he's got that gap at about a second to Kian at the moment. He's moved his way into P2 as well. But apart from the incident with Lawrence, I think pretty clean throughout the rest of the field from what I saw.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of debris there flying off as we headed towards turn 4. Not quite sure who that was. We might be able to see it later on. But Brumadinho here is fighting away here. We've got a battle with CSS and Scorpion as we head through there. Oh, Scorpion, I don't know if he got a little bit of tap there coming out of turn 12 there. But he is putting that pressure on CSS. Of course, DRS not active yet, but the slipstream is very powerful down this long straight. And if you get the exit of turn 17 spot on, you will work wonders then. DRS is enabled, but it won't really be in effect until the next lap. Here's Scorpion then in the slipstream of CSS. You can see there the ERS on the Toro Rosso up to 3 as he looks to try and take advantage of the slipstream. No way past for him then, and Scorpion's got to watch that. Running too deep into turn 1 costs your entry into turn 2 and therefore costs your exit of turn 3. Farthman meanwhile has moved up to 10th place, so it's been a good start for him, but he has just picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, big crash at the back. Toro Rosso involved.
And that's Chopper in the wall. And I don't know what happened there, Jono.
Only caught the very back of it. I really couldn't see what happened. Just saw the aftermath of it. Just saw the Toro Rosso flying back across track. And unfortunately for Chopper, that's the end of his race.
I'm not sure if Jaw was involved there. I think he was too far forward, but he has got some sort of damage on that car. It's not driving the way it should, that's for sure. As he heads through the
S section. Got bad wing damage. He was definitely involved in it as well, was the Red Bull driver. So Heskey Time yet again is going to find himself have to come back through the field after suffering wing damage early on.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on Jaw here, because I'm not sure if that car is wounded in any way. We'll see if he dives into the pit lane in this lap. And does he dive into the pit lane? No, he stays out. So maybe that's just the setup of his car. Maybe it's prioritised for the straight. Here comes Matt FNG though on White Fountain, moves to the right hand side. Remember, on those hyper soft tyres as he makes his way down towards turn 1. He gets the move done. Meanwhile, Marley and Donkel battling away for position here. And Kian is just able to hold on to second place right now, riding on board with Donkel as we head down towards turn 4. And Marley here battling away as Heskey Time has left the session, so not happy to continue on. So that means we've lost 3 drivers in this race so far. Lawrence, Chopper and Heskey Time all retiring from the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I cursed it, didn't I, by saying it was pretty clean on lap 1. We've now had a few retirements since. But Marley did not been able to get the job done on Kian. Oh, it's Kian Spears across track. And he has indeed, I don't know if there was contact there or if he just made an error. But Kian drops right down the field there and he's going to be joining 7th. I don't think he's got any damage, but obviously really disappointing for his race.
Yeah, with a spin like that, it won't help the tyres. Remember, he's on the hyper soft tyres, so he's got to be careful with mistakes like that. They will damage the tyres as we head around the final corner. And there is the Renault driver of Marley pitting in already. Lap 4 he pitted in. So the Renault driver not happy with the tyres. So Samster leads, by the way, 3.5 seconds away from the McLaren of Donkel behind him. We've got Matt FG in 3rd, and then it's the Saubers of White Fountain and CSS who are in 4th and 5th at the moment, with Kian's mistake promoting them up. Scorpion running in 7th place at the moment. Remember, on those ultra soft tyres, he'll be wanting to make the one-stop work today. And if he's keeping up with Kian and CSS, he's only 2 seconds back from those Saubers, then he's got a good chance of making that work.
Yeah, he definitely has. Yeah, he could be on for a good result. Obviously, very early days, but yeah, good things to come. Perhaps Marley has been joined, by the way, in 13th. He had a wing change as well, so maybe he thought he'd better get that done. and rather than driving with damage. So Marley got forced into that stop, and he's rejoining 13th. He's got clear air now, and he's on the ultra soft tyres.
And that was, I believe that was Jaw, yes. Aggressive with Brumadinho on the exit of turn 6, but it's worked, and he finds himself up a position there. We've got to watch out as well for the Saubers battling away. They are closing in on Matt at the moment. Kian as well is being watched heavily by Scorpion and Far. I'm West and Lukey are looking to join this battle as well. So Kian actually comes into the pits then, so whether or not he's hurt those tyres too much is a question for another time, but all we know for now is that he pits in, not able to make those tyres work. The CSS, you can see then on board, that front wing damage has seen a little bit of action, especially through the first couple of corners. I wonder if the Sauber crew will get on the radio for team orders. CSS is on ultra soft tyres with White Fountain on hyper softs, especially if White Fountain's coming in this lap, maybe next lap. Will Sauber get on the radio?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. As you see the sector they're coming to now, it is pretty much just one by one, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any position change at the moment. But yeah, it looks like CSS could certainly go a bit quicker if he had clean air.
Things to keep an eye on are up and down the field then. We've got Brumadinho staying with Jaw then. That is for 10th place at the moment. But of course, Marley and Kian have pitted for a new set of tyres as the four-cylinder driver runs very close to the back of that Haas, especially through the S section. That is brave. But Jaw tries to cover the inside line as we head down towards turn 12. As we turn in and go towards turn 13, Brumadinho's looking up the inside. A little bit of contact made there as he takes out one of the bollards there on the inside of turn 14 now, I believe that was. He's just got to be a little bit careful. Yellow flags and Farth is out. Farth is out of the race.
Oh.
Now where has Farth gone off then? I'm just trying to find out. We're right on board with Marley. See if we can spot Farth then. Must have been down the straight.
Yeah, I can't see the car there.
It's on the side. It's on the right-hand side of the pit lane exit.
Yeah, exit the pit lane. What's happened there?
I'm not sure, but oh, now I know what's happened. CSS has spun Matt around on the exit of turn 4. Well, I only just caught on to that, but it looked like the Sauber then tried to go up the inside. The gap wasn't there, and Matt's all the way down to 8th place at the moment. A little bit chaotic in these couple of laps, but I don't know what happened to Farth. It looked too perfectly parked on the pit lane exit there for it to be a crash damage.
Yeah, it did. It looked like he just parked it up, didn't it? It was very, very weird. Yeah, the CSS incident there, it did look like, he was to blame for that one, just from the end of it I caught. But he hasn't waited, has he? So CSS in 4th position then, and Matt, not for the first time this season then, he's going to have to have a bit of a comeback drive now from 8th.
I've just had word that the reason Farth pulled over to the side was that his controller broke, so that is why he's had to retire from this race. Such a shame when it's something basically beyond control. Basically the controller glitching out, nothing he could do, so he decided to retire the car. That's such a shame for Farth because he was doing so well in this race.
Yeah, it was a shame. Made his way forward, didn't he? But obviously wasn't to be. And CSS then is about to get White Fountain, I think, on the inside. Oh, they're going side by side. Definitely no team orders going on here, Kieran, I don't think. And White Fountain holds on to it then.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, they are creating a little bit of a train behind them. Scorpion and Iron West are right behind as we head through the S section for the 8th time. On board with CSS as he tries to follow his teammate, and of course the Dirty Air is going to get involved in this sort of scenario. You wouldn't want to be Iron West at the back of this battle. As you see that he runs wide on the exit there of turn 11, and you can see the Toro Rosso a bit interested in this battle. CSS locks up coming into turn 12, and well, you can see there the amount of pressure that they're all putting on each other, but no way past for now. Let's see what happens in the DRS zone.
Yeah, real train, and it looks like White Fountain has pulled into the pits then, so that will release CSS. But will he now come under pressure from Scorpion and from Iron West? Iron West tucked right into the slipstream of the Toro Rosso.
Here he comes then. Scorpion, even with that DRS, Iron West has got a double load of slipstream as we head down towards turn 1. He's going to try and have the inside line, and that is Scorpion protecting the entry into turn 2. That's smart driving from Scorpion, and he's able to hold on to 3rd place for now.
Yeah, he is. and very, very close between these drivers. I'm West. Not afraid of an overtake, as we saw last week, so he'll want to get the job done. And of course, I'm West is on the super soft tyre as well, so he's got quite a long way to go yet on his tyres if he chooses. So looking pretty good for him at the moment there in fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. He was the only other driver to start on those super soft tyres. The other one was Lawrence. Sorry, no, it was Farth starting on those super soft tyres. I'm just seeing Lawrence in the chat there explaining what happened. And, well, my presumption was correct. He did clip the curb the wrong way and sent the car into an uncontrollable spin straight to the scene of the accident. And unfortunately for Lawrence, retiring from the lead of the race.
Yeah, and that you mentioned the curving before, didn't you? It was in the questions that the curves can be deadly here, and Lawrence found that out, unfortunately for him, and his race was over all too soon.
Well, lap 10 of this race then, as all the drama's gone on. I've missed Samster coming into the pit, so Donkel actually leads this race from CSS, then it's Scorpion in third, I'm West in fourth, Lukey fifth, Brumadinho in sixth, Samster rejoining ahead of Marley, 1.3 seconds ahead of him. As Scorpion loses the back end then, and loses that position to I'm West as we headed through turn 4 there. Just looked like the back end just sort of snapped on Scorpion. He was able to hold it, he's lost to position, and luckily still in this race.
Yeah, able to continue. Obviously, he's lost the single position from that, but not too much damage done. And Sam then, as you mentioned, Marley lost that big time, didn't he? With having to pit early, perhaps with that wing damage. So Sam already still ahead of him, and he's on much fresher tyres, of course. And Sam has got clear air as well. So what could have been one of the most crucial times of the race for him, blinking first against his battle with Donkel, but he has got clear air now to push on those ultra soft tyres. And Donkel has reacted as well by the look of it, so he's in.
Yeah, he's into the pits, and what tyres go on for the McLaren driver? Looks like it's ultra soft tyres from what I can see. So yeah, that is a 2-stop. I'm pretty sure of it. As I'm West here ahead of Scorpion, and it looked like that sort of straight line speed translated well for I'm West. Looks like he set the car up to be quick down the straights and then slightly compromised in the corners, although those super soft tyres won't help through the S section. But he's doing a good job so far, staying ahead of Scorpion.
Yeah, staying ahead of Scorpion, and he's kept out of trouble. No damage, we don't think, on that Williams as well, which is crucial if you're going to start on the harder compound of tyres and you're aiming to go long in the race. So yeah, it's all working out well for him so far, and it should be quicker as well than CSS now. He should have more grip at this point in the race than CSS has on those worn ultra softs.
It is CSS leading the way then. Of course, he is yet to stop in this race, running on those ultra soft tyres. Top 3 separated by just over 2 seconds, so always good to see a battle like this happening. Lukey not far away in the distance there, 2.8 seconds. Then Brumadinho is in 5th there, but Samsa, look at the pace he has on those ultra soft tyres, and that makes me believe it's a definite 2-stop, because you wouldn't be attacking this hard on some ultra soft tyres. Here he is then behind Brumadinho, down the start-finish straight. Keep an eye on the battle for the lead as well, but riding on board with Samsa as he looks to try and get P5 away from the Force India. I don't think the Force India is going to make this too difficult. Samsa drives past him on the right hand side with the DRS open, and he takes the position away from the Force India, and just as I suspected, Brumadinho doesn't put up too much of a fight.
Yeah, he's not really in that fight, is he, with the grip difference available to Sam, and we expect him to really side his way through now against these drivers. If he's got to make 2-stop work, he needs to get by as quick as he can. But he is in the sector now. He's tucked that guy Lukey. There really is nowhere to go, and Sam has to lift off there so much with the difference in grip. But he's got to be patient. It's a short lap, and it won't be long until he gets that DRS straight again, and he can get the job done cleanly and safely. But it doesn't look like he wants to wait till then.
No, absolutely. He was going to try and make it too wide in a place where we've said it's not too wide. That's CSS off on the exit of turn 11 there, so that's yellow flag. So actually that's Lukey's saving grace then, as Marley's right behind. Samsa goes for a move up the inside of turn 12, that's 13 there, but he couldn't quite make it stick as we head through turn 16 there. CSS looks like he lost it in the same place as Lawrence. Meanwhile, Samsa, with the traction, with the fresher tyres, able to get the grip out of the corner, and he'll also get the DRS instead of Lukey here. But look at Marley as well. He's on the back of Brumadinho. Lukey now trying to make a move up the inside towards turn 1 here. And it's going to be 4 wide. Yes, it is. Going towards turn 1. 2 Renaults on the right-hand side as we head towards turn 1. They've collided. The Renault and the Ferrari of Lukey. Sorry, is that Marley? It is Marley and Samster coming together. And in all of that, Lukey has stayed ahead of them all.
Yeah, Lukey keeping out of trouble there, and I was on board with Marley. It looked like he just was a bit too adventurous on the brakes, braked a bit too late, and caught the side of the Ferrari, and so it's all getting a bit messy, and Sam's found his way back through. So Marley pushed down now, back to the back of this queue, and it is one heck of a queue, isn't it? Now back up to third, Brumadinho, down to Marley, all separated by they're just all fighting for the same little section of track at the moment.
Yeah, Lukey sort of went off track, but I'll tell you who that's worked out for, Donkel, because he's right in this battle now, right behind Samster, and ahead of Marley as well. So what luck has come for Donkel. And I sort of remember back at the, what was it, the Russian Grand Prix, when Pete lost the back end and took out Donkel, and Brumadinho, I think it was, and Samster was able to go his way through. It didn't quite work out this time for Donkel. Oh, that was a little bit of a tank slapper on the exit of turn 17. As you can see, there's a car on the right-hand side trying to defend. That looks like it's Brumadinho against Kian. But you can see here, Samster and Donkel battling away. There's also that battle ahead for Kian and Brumadinho. It's difficult to decide who to watch, but Donkel goes round the outside of turn 1, turns in for turn 2, and he's got the move done. What a move from Donkel. Puts himself now up to P5, and now he's got 2 cars battling ahead of him of Brumadinho and Kian. Brumadinho moves to the left-hand side to try and defend the inside for turn 4. Donkel goes around the outside, has the inside line for turn 5, and Samster tries to follow suit then. He's left the door open, the Force India, and Samster's obliged, taking the position away. So Donkel is really the big winner of all that. He's now up to P4 in the space of 2 laps.
Yeah, he benefited hugely from that, didn't he? Ooh, and he's having a look at Kian here as well. They go side by side through the S's, and you have to slot back in behind. But crucial, Donkel, don't pick up damage here now. You've benefited really nicely from this. And Sam's going to side down the inside there of both of them. And Donkel pushed down to 6th position. Brumadinho gets there as well, so just chopping and changing at the moment.
That's Kian around.
Oh, Kian's round.
Kian around. He tagged the back of Samster's rear tyre then. I was just going to say, on the exit of turn 11, Samster went quite a way off track there. Maybe more than he needed to. But when it's all said and done, Samster's got the move. And still, Brumadinho is there. You were saying, Jono, that Donkel didn't have to make moves like that. He just had to bide his time. There goes Brumadinho up the inside now, in towards turn 1, but he's locked up, overcooked it on the entry, and now he comes together with Samster. Now he's around. Donkel slams on the brakes. Well done for him to avoiding that instant, but now White Fountain just simply drives through. This is chaotic.
Absolutely chaotic, and Donkel's going to try and get past White Fountain again immediately if he can. He's got couple of lap special tyres, but not too much of an advantage. And Sam, look at him clearing off into the distance with this. And Donkel struggling with the rear of the car as well. Tyre temp's got a little bit higher, I think, after that little, that big braking manoeuvre he had to do there. Luckily, there was no damage done. He managed to avoid contact. But yeah, White Fountain then, the big beneficiary now. And everyone's just chopping and changing so quickly at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you were saying there, Jono, before I interrupted myself, that you were saying, Donkel, don't make any big moves. It's not worth it. You've worked hard to get past, but then you want to make it too wide through the S section. I mean, you get what you asked for, really.
Yeah, definitely. It's just such a risky manoeuvre, isn't it? Great if it pays off, but you're going against the odds a bit, I think, to try and make it work. But hey, Donkel, car still in one piece. He's going to get past White Fountain now. Oh, it's Brumadinho out. So what a shame that is for the Force India driver.
Yeah, I don't know. There are yellow flags out coming towards the start from this track. I don't know whether he's retired in the pit lane or not. But Brumadinho becomes our 4th retirement in fact 5th retirement of the race. Hesketime is also not running in this race. So it's been a bit of a manic one, but I tell you what, Scorpion and I'm West might have benefited from that, with all of those cars battling, all of those cars tripping over each other, might have just handed them the advantage for the one stop.
Yeah, you have to say, he's got an 8-second advantage, hasn't he? And, both him and Sam have got to pit one more time, so I'm West has got the position on circuit at the moment, and he's got a bit of a gap to work with as well. And in all that, Marley did pit again as well, so he's on a set of 2-lap-old super softs now, so Marley hasn't got to pit again. But obviously he's down in 9th at the moment, so a lot of work to do for Marley if he wants to make his way back up towards the podium positions.
Update, Brumadinho crashed into the pits. So that's how Brumadinho has retired from this race then. So Marley, meanwhile, on those super softs. Definitely that looks like a one-stop, but he's right behind CSS. And CSS, who was up there with his teammate earlier on. Remember, he started, I believe, on those hyper soft tyres, battling away. But this could be a move for Marley. He has to make it quickly as well. He knows that the clear air is going to benefit him coming down the long straight as we head towards turn 1. He's up the inside here against that Sauber, and yet the Sauber just sort of concedes the position, really. And well, he did want to try and move back there, but he was carrying speed, wanted to try up the inside, never quite had the open door. Just stuck close to the back of Marley then. But Marley up to P8 now. Next car is Jaw, 3.6 seconds the gap.
Yeah, and we've finally got a chance to take a breath as the driver's slightly more spread out, though Donkel is really eating into that advantage that Sam had. It's already down to less than half a second. So Donkel definitely looks the quicker of the two drivers at the moment, and he's caught Sam at the right time as well. He should hopefully have DRS down this long straight now as well. So looking decent for Donkel at the moment. He can still get a good result and a win even out of this.
Well, Donkel here in the slipstream. He's got the DRS on Sam, so look at the speed difference now as we head down towards turn 1. And look at that, he's able to take the racing line in towards turn 1. And remember, there's only one detection point. So that means that Donkel will have the DRS down the second straight, the shorter straight, on the run down towards turn 4. But Sam's looked like he got a good exit there out of turn 3. Better than Donkel, actually. He's able to stick behind him, but Donkel makes the move stick, and he is now up to second place even.
Yeah, he is, and I'm never a big fan of that, for the one detection point, because it is a bit of a sort of double whammy, isn't it, when you get overtaken into turn 1, and then you see the car who just passed you getting DRS once again as well. And Sam's struggling hugely there through the S section and fallen way off the back of Donkel. So it looks like, we saw in qualifying perhaps that was his weakness perhaps through there as well. And certainly on that lap, it's cost him a lot of time.
Well, we're just about to enter the halfway stage of this Grand Prix then. And I'm West coming around the final corner to start lap 19 in the lead. It's then Donkel in second place with Samster in third. White Fountain in fourth with Mac in fifth. Scorpion sixth. Jaw 7th, Marley in 8th, battling away with Jaw now. He's caught up quickly to the back of that Haas. CSS in 9th, Lukey 10th, McKeon in 11th place, and Heskey Time is a non-runner in this race. He has left the session, he's not driving that car, and here comes Marley then right behind Jaw, coming down the start finish straight again with that DRS. You'll see how quickly he pulls away here, and Jaw really cuts it fine then to try and cut back into the slipstream as we head down towards turn 1. Will he try and move up the inside? He thought about it, puts Marley under that pressure, but Marley able to keep his cool and make the move stick. And now Jaw has to be careful from CSS behind him.
Yeah, he does. And when you see it, the big speed advantage that the DRS gives you and how easy a lot of these overtakes are down the straight, it does make you wonder why we're seeing so many drivers going for these really risky moves at other points in the lap. But I guess as a racing driver, the gap's there, or the gap you think is there, so they're going for it regardless. And I'm West. Look at this gap coming down. It's all serene at the moment for the Williams driver, but he's about to come under big pressure from Donkel at some point on this next lap by the look of it at the current rate.
Well, just watching this battle between Jaw and CSS. CSS coming down towards turn 12. He's got the inside line. Was there a little bit of contact there as we head towards turn 13? The Haas will have the inside line for turn 13. You can see him there. Slam the door shut. CSS gets the position. I wonder if he's going to have to give that position back. Yeah, I don't think he's going to, is he? He's going to carry on. So, yeah, Jaw's going to have to get the job done on track and work for it by the look of it. He's used all of his ERS, so he's about to run out of that. He has indeed, but it was still just enough. Although CSS tries to hold him on the outside, and I think he's asking a little bit much there. That's all got a bit messy, and Jaw then
suffers, and that looked a bit aggressive to me from CSS.
Well, I don't know. George sort of moved across in the DRS zone quite early. I mean, he was obviously not happy with CSS gaining that position, but at the same time, CSS was not happy about Jaw pushing him off the track. I think it's a little hot-headed. They've got to calm down out there. That's not what we want to see from these drivers.
Yeah, definitely not. And Jaw suffers from that, doesn't he? And he's on quite a bit older tyres than the drivers around him as well. So it could be a bit of a slog, I think, in the final third of the race for Jaw.
Well, off screen then, Donkel did take the lead of the race. He made a move on I'm West there. So White Fountain is up to second place. The Samster's also in. And it looks like a front wing change for Samster. So obviously he's been in the wars somewhere. That was a very, well, earlier stop than maybe he wanted for his 2-stop. But he's made it now. And Marley, who is planning that 1-stop, has got back ahead of him. He's now in P5, so Sam's is going to have to do a lot of qualifying laps and a lot of overtaking. And as we've seen in this race, overtaking can be slightly chaotic.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement, isn't it? Yeah, it's still a really open race, I think. And as we said before, having the 2 stops is just opening up the strategies, isn't it? We've still got Donkel, White Fountain and Matt F&G, in the top 3 at the moment, but they're going to have to pit again. So I'm West will be having to take full advantage of this now and push as hard as he can on those ultra softs while the others are going around on their worn tyres.
Samster on the back of Lukey. We've seen this before. And at this precise corner as well, where Samster tried to make it too wide, and Lukey actually picks up a 3-second time penalty there. And you can see Samster on some super soft tyres. I can guarantee you now these are not the tyres he wanted to be on for his 3rd stint. But we head down now towards turn 12. And Lukey has the inside line. He runs a little bit too deep. Samster takes advantage. Tries to go around the outside of turn 13. Lukey can't quite get the grip there. And that is the racecraft we want to see. Samster there luring Lukey into a mistake and capitalises on it. Great move from Samster.
Yeah, and Lukey's not going to be able to respond either. He got a bad exit there onto the straight. So they'll have DRS. I'm not sure it'll be enough as Sam's teammate then rejoins as well. So he's going to be joining 9th. And Lukey, he gets onto the back of Sam, but not close enough to go for a move that pass.
So those are the tyres that Sam wanted to rejoin on. The tyres that Matt is on right now on the Ultra Softs. You can sort of make these tyres last 15 laps. It's a bit of a push, but you can do it. And, well, Matt here is... it's going to be interesting to see because obviously both titles have been decided. There's no pressure from either Ferrari to yield in sort of team order style. What are they going to do? They're going to battle out on track?
Yeah, I certainly hope so, and I don't see why they wouldn't. And it'll be good to see because they have worked well as a team, obviously, this season, and Matt has often allowed Sam through if necessary to get the championship wrapped up. But Matt should be really quick now on these ultra softs. If he can get past Lukey quickly, which he's not able to do just yet, then we could see him actually attack Sam and see them battling on track.
Yeah, he got the move done in towards turn 13, chucked it up the inside, and he's got the move done. Then up towards P8 he goes. White Fountain in the pits. I think he's just about to leave the pits, and he is at the pit exit, and it's going to be side by side, is it, with Samster? He tucks back into the slipstream, and how crucial could that be for Samster getting that move done? Remember, Samster's on the super soft tyres, White Fountain on the ultra softs, so at the moment Samster's at the disadvantage. Be interesting to see and hear what that front wing damage actually came from. Because obviously these aren't the tyres that Samster wants to be on towards the end of this race.
Yeah, they're not, and he is at a disadvantage right now. If he can weather the storm, though, of White Fountain, then it could work out decently for him at the end. The Super Softs will be quicker at the end of the race. He's pushing the Ultra Softs reasonably far to get to the end quickly from here. They'll do it comfortably, but they certainly won't be at their best come the end. So Sam can still make the strategy work, I think, and still get a decent result.
Donkel still leading this race then. He's 14.6 ahead of Scorpion. The thing about Donkel is he has to keep pushing on. He can't let up at any point. He has to make that gap between himself and Scorpion as big as possible. and he's going to hope that Scorpion has a role to play in this battle between himself and Marley. As here we see, sorry, Jono, we see the move here from Samster on CSS as we head down towards turn 1. He's got the inside line. CSS try to hold it around the outside. No room for him as he heads towards turn 2. And Samster moves up to P5.
Yeah, he's making good progress, isn't he? He's left his teammate in the dust at the moment. He's still in 8th position, despite being on the softer compounded tyre. So Sam making good progress.
Absolutely. And I sort of cut you off there, what you were going to say about Scorpion and Marley.
God knows what I was going to say about Scorpion and Marley, but yeah, we were saying about whether they'll come into play, and Doncourt has just got to push on. He's got that gap that he will have to stop again, and he's got I'm West as well, who's obviously done his final stop and not too much further back as well, so the race not over, not won for Doncourt just yet.
Here comes White Fountain up the inside of his teammate there, in towards turn 12, gets that move done. Here comes Matt now up the inside of CSS, and now he gets the move done through turn 13 there. And as we head towards 15 and 16 through 17, you can see there CSS not getting the greatest exit in the world. He's lost a lot of time through that final section alone. So Doncourt comes into the pits and he rejoins, crucially, ahead of Samster by quite some distance as well. He's now going to run ultra soft tyres to the end of the race. And so Scorpion and Marley, who are planning to one-stop it, as well as I'm West, he's on his final stint as well. So it's been a great stint for him. And, well, Scorpion here, with 12 laps to go, 11 and a half if you're picky. How long can he hold back Marley for?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see for sure. And I mean, Sam, seeing Doncourt rejoin in front of him there, that's him gone, isn't it? Being on those fresh ultra soft, Sam has got no chance of matching him for pace. So he'll have to hope for incidents ahead for Doncourt. Going to rescue anything out of this. But Doncourt will be on the charge now and closing these guys down. And Marley will be well aware of that as well, as you mentioned. And will be trying to get the job done on the Scorpion, or here if he possibly can, this lap.
Well, Scorpion will cross the line, 11 laps to go then. He's under immense pressure from Marley with the DRS, and you can see now in the slipstream Marley goes. He pulls to the right hand side in that Renault, down the long straight as we head down towards turn 1, and he tucks back onto the racing line, and into the lead of the race Marley goes. And this will be interesting to see now, because Doncourt is only 5.5 seconds down the road. I wonder, this is going to be the battle of the strategies. Which one was best, the one-stop or the two-stop? You can see the papaya orange of the McLaren of Doncourt in the distance, ready to try and cut that gap down. Meanwhile, a battle here between Matt FNG and White Fountain as we head down towards turn 4. DRS wide open for White Fountain as he looks to the inside now as we head towards turn 4. He locks up and Matt has to run wide to avoid the incident. And that's White Fountain just backing off there. Locked up, Matt had to go off the track, and well, White Fountain did all he could there, just yielded and let him have the position back.
Yeah, he did. White Fountain just locked up, didn't he? Went for the overtake, didn't work out, but both cars able to continue, and Matt FNG in the lead, but White Fountain certainly not giving up on this at all. He's going to be on the outside now into turn 12. And we'll have to stop behind, but another lap. The laps just fly by, don't they? And already now White Fountain then will have a chance to respond down this long straight once again.
Well, riding aboard with I'm West, as you can see there, the top 3 going to the right-hand side, maybe to try and pull out of the slipstream, then returning to the racing line. All 3 of them do it in formation. It's amazing to see. But Marley then leads, and here looks like a good run from I'm West, who got that chicane section absolutely spot on. Versus Scorpion as we head down towards turn 4, and that looks like a battle between Lukey and CSS. Lukey wanted to got the inside at turn 1 but backed out of the move. Maybe he didn't think there was going to be enough room on the exit, but that's a battle we need to watch there. And here comes White Fountain now, this time round the outside of Matt as we head towards turn 4. Give him the inside line for turn 5, and will it give him the grip he needs in towards turn 6? And it looks like it has. White Fountain then gets the position on Matt FNG, no locking up this time. Gets that move inch perfect. He
does. These two continue to duel, don't they? And likewise the battle at the front as well, hotting up. So plenty to keep an eye on. And Marley certainly not able to get away either from Scorpion at all, is he? So he's going to be embroiled in this battle, which Don Cool is rapidly joining onto the back of as well. Now just 1 second back then from Mine West.
Here comes Iron West then, on the back of Scorpion. He'll move to the right-hand side, will he? Coming down the long straight towards turn 1. He's alongside, up the inside he goes, and he's got the move done on the Toro Rosso. And, well, the Toro Rosso does have DRS, but you can just see the speed difference between Iron West and Scorpion. Scorpion's clearly got a car that's not designed for the straights, because anyone who has DRS right behind him, even if he has DRS, just seem to fly past him.
Yeah, just flew past. But we mentioned earlier in the race, I think, that Iron West is a bit rapid down the straights as well.
Well, that's CSS who was off track there. He was battling with Lukey. The yellow flags came out and he picked up a 5-second stop go as Donkel tried to go up the inside of turn 7. Not the greatest idea in the world, and he instantly realises and backs out of it.
Yeah, so Donkel, can he get the moves done cleanly this time round and quickly? Looks like he's going to slide his way past Scorpion there on the inside, and Scorpion didn't make that too hard for him at all, did he? So Donkel then up into third, and Iron West will be his next target.
Well, Kian here, who hasn't had the greatest day, has he? But he's kept in there, currently in a point scoring position, and has closed up to CSS as well after CSS went off track. Not sure how or why, but he did go off track, that's all we know. And Iron West here is keeping up with Marley as we head towards turns 1, 2 and 3. Remember, Iron West is on a set of ultra soft tyres. Technically he has the tyre advantage here.
Yeah, he does. Marley 15 laps into a super soft run as well, so far from the ideal strategy for Marley because of that damage he suffered earlier on, and he's going to have to work hard and drive a really defensive race, I think, if he even wants to finish on the podium come the end of this race.
Off screen then, Kian makes a move on CSS for 9th place down the long straight, and meanwhile then we're still following the battle for the lead. The top 3, Marley, Iron West and Donkel, all scheduled stops have been made at this point. We're running to the end now, but Marley here still in the lead, and Donkel has caught up massively to these two now as he makes his way towards turn 13. No moves up the inside this time around as he looks to keep the car in check as we head through 14, 15, then through 16. This double right-hander here that counts as 2 corners. Donkel trying to keep the car in check, and he has done. This looks like a really good run out of the final corner, and he's closing up on Iron West even without the DRS here. Iron West's car though, look at that. Look how much of it's set up for the straights. Absolutely, it's absolutely slick out there as we head now down towards turn 1. Donkel trying to go around the outside now of Iron West. That becomes the inside, but Donkel, even with that straight speed disadvantage, gets the move done on Iron West. Great move from Donkel there, kept a level head and got the move done.
Yeah, he had to work very hard for that, didn't he? He didn't have the speed, so he had to do it around the outside and be later on the brakes than Iron West, and he did that very, very well indeed. So now just Marley then ahead of him, and immediately ahead of him as well, so all looking good. And the grip difference between these two, Kieran, between Donkel and Marley, is surely going to be absolutely huge here.
Yeah, with 6.5 laps to go, with Marley on 16 lap super soft tyres, Donkel on 5 lap ultras. Those ultra soft tyres are only just getting started, if you like. They're nowhere near their expiry date, so expect this battle to go on and for it to be relentless too on that Renault. That Renault is going to have to do some serious tyre management. But as we head around the final corner, Donkel once again gets a good exit. He's closing in with the slipstream. This time Marley won't have DRS to defend with, like Iron West had. And here goes Donkel then pulling to the left-hand side down the long straight. And there you go, the Renault pulls into the slipstream of the McLaren. And Donkel then takes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, it looks like the two-stop strategy working out really well for Donkel. It does mean he's got to make passes on track, but he's managed to do that really well there. And surely Marley just won't have the grip available to fight back. And already I think he might be looking in his mirrors rather than in front of him and trying to hold back Iron West if he possibly can.
Lap 31 then, so Donkel has taken the lead. That's Marley in 2nd with Iron West in 3rd. Scorpion running in 4th place with Sam running in 5th. White Fountain in 6th with Matt F&G in 7th. Lukey in 8th. Kian there in 9th with CSS in the last point scoring position. And the last runner on track is Jaw in P11. We lost Heskey time He has left the session. Brumadinho crashed coming into the pit lane, Farth and Chopper, and also Lawrence, who crashed from the lead of the race on the very first lap. At the moment though, Donkel starts lap 32, 5 laps to go here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
Yeah, just 5 laps to go, and Donkel, as we predicted, he's cruised away, isn't he? Already 1.5 seconds ahead of Marley. I'm West, not quite quick enough, not quite close enough this lap, despite his amazing straight line speed. So Marley able to stay ahead for the time being at least, and Scorpion falling back slightly as well. So fourth looks quite secure for him at the moment though, with Sam a further 3 or 4 seconds back again.
And I wonder if I'm West can keep his cool. We might have second place here. Of course, we've got the penalties as well, and there have been quite a few. There's one of them, Lukey, with a 3-second time penalty, and I wonder how much that's going to switch up the final standings. Lukey's got a couple, I know that much for sure, so his place in the points is under threat.
I think I'm West has got at least one as well, so yeah, maybe that will save Marley come the end if he does get past on track.
And there's Samster picking up a 3-second time penalty as well, so it's all coming together now, and we'll see who wins the race when we come to the checkered flag in around 4 laps time. Lap 33, Donkel still in the lead, and he's pulling away 3.3 seconds away from Marley. But here's a fantastic battle that's developed here. I'm West and Marley. Marley again doesn't have any DRS. He pulls right to the right hand side of the track, as close to the grass as he possibly can. No need for gardening this week, but I'm West makes the move round the outside, comes back onto the racing line, and he takes second place in the Williams there. A little bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 3 might give Marley a bit of a chance, but remember, there's only one detection point. That means Marley's not getting DRS as we head down towards turn 4, and for now then, Iron West makes the move for second place.
He does, and Marley gave it his best shot at defending there, didn't he? Right to the inside, made Iron West work for it a little bit, but yeah, he couldn't do anything about that in the end. And so Iron West is through, and yeah, he'll want to push down and try and build that gap if he can, just to try and cover himself if penalties do come into play at the end.
You can see the runner here still sticking with Iron West though, so maybe Iron West is much better in the straights than he is through the corners. That would explain a lot, as he's able to defend really well with DRS from the car behind. I wonder how well he's going to defend when he's got no DRS whatsoever. But here comes Marley then around the final corner. It's his turn to have the DRS. 3 laps to go here in Mexico. And you can see now Marley with the DRS open. Can he close in on the Williams? And he can, as Iron West then moves to the left-hand side. He's made his point clear. As you can see then, the Renault of Marley making his move down the inside. And he's got the move done. This battle between the two of them is far from over then, as I think Iron West just got a little bit on the grass on the exit of turn 2 there. So he's got to be careful about that one. He doesn't want to push those tyres harder than he already has. They've done 13 laps, those tyres. They will be coming to the end of their life. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, it's probably not that much between these cars in terms of grip on the tyres now. 13 laps on those Ultras and 20 laps on the Super Softs. And Iron West fallen quite a way back there and struggling with the rear of the car quite a bit. He turns 8, 9 there, so yeah, he's fallen 1.3 seconds back already. So is that the end of his chances here? Have the tyres just started to let go on him?
Well, CSS is putting pressure on Iron West's teammate Kian, and CSS here coming through turn 6, heading down towards turn 7, just upping the pressure now on Kian in front of him. Kian, who's had a difficult race but finds himself in 9th place at the moment, and it'd be a relief for him to come away with some points, but CSS is putting him under so much pressure here as we head now down towards turn 12. He's pulled to the left hand side. He'll try around the outside as we head towards turn 12, but he runs a little bit too deep there, and Kian is able to just hold on to the position then as we head through turn 13, now coming towards 14 and 15, and then towards turn 16, through the final corner of turn 17, and it's crucial to get the exit right here. And you can see then Kian pulling away slightly there, but CSS will have the DRS, he will have the slipstream as well to be able to close in with 2 laps to go then. As CSS in the Sauber, closing on the Williams as we head towards turn 1. He's on the outside. Can he try and cut back here? No, Kian placed his car well then on the apex and is able to keep that position and stays ahead of CSS.
Yeah, he stays ahead, but CSS will have one more chance in that DRS zone if he doesn't have a go beforehand, and he is going to have a look on the inside. Kian sees him coming as well, and appears to pretty much dive out the way there, I think, and let CSS through.
I'm not sure whether that was the greatest move in the world, but for a Kian there, he'd rather give up that position than get any front wing damage. But Donkel then starts the final lap of the race then in the lead, 7.4 seconds ahead of Marley. And, well, the 2-stop has worked a treat today for Marley, though the 1-stop has also worked. He might be 7.5 seconds down, but he's kept those tyres in check. He had a little bit of battling to do, and a little bit of drama as well. We were thinking maybe Iron West and Scorpion would have benefited from that, and I'll tell you what they have. They're running in 3rd and 4th at the moment, so it's been a great race for them. But Donkel, in these tough situations, you've got to have that perseverance about you to never give up and always keep putting in those lap times, and he's done exactly that today as the clouds start to come over as we head now down towards turn 12. And for the race winner, the confetti starts flying as we head through the right-hander. Coming towards that stadium section, there's the confetti, all in Mexican colours, as he makes his way through the stadium section. Coming now towards turn 16 and 17. Donkel rounding the final corners. It's been a tough race for him, but what an enjoyable one. Donkel wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Fantastic victory for the McLaren driver. Marley then will take those tyres, 23 laps. The 1-stop did him a treat. 2nd place then, and Scorpion's got ahead of Iron West. Iron West has spun the car around in towards turn 17. I can't believe it. A podium for Iron West is gone, and Scorpion puts himself on the final placings on the podium. Then White Fountain in 4th, Iron West 5th, with Matt F&G in 6th, Samster in 7th. Lukey coming around the final corner now. He's going to put the car in 8th place at the checkered flag. And does he fall down the standings? Not yet. Here comes CSS rounding the final couple of corners now. And he'll be able to claim 9th place there. As you see then, Jaw and Kian coming towards the line. But your winner of the Mexican Grand Prix is Donkel.
Donkel back on the top of the podium, and a great drive. He was able to run the 2-stop strategy that he wanted as well, wasn't he? And drove a great race there. So Donkel bounces back from his difficulties last time out to get back on the top step of the podium. But it was a good drive from Marley as well, because he had those troubles early on, and certainly didn't get to run the optimal strategy there at all, but was able to get P2. And great to see Scorpion there as well on the podium. So brilliant drives from all of those three.
Well, Iron West will be gutted with that one. He drove such a great race and then lost the back end around the final 2 corners. He'll be kicking himself. But your unofficial results from the Mexican Grand Prix: Donkel wins. Marley in 2nd with Scorpion in 3rd. White Fountain in 4th with Iron West in 5th place there. Matt in 6th with Samster in 7th. Lukey in 8th. Kian in 9th with CSS grabbing the final points there. And I think Jaw actually collided with the pit wall entrance before he took the checkered flag. Other retirements: Heskey Time, Brumadinho, Farth, Chopper and Lawrence all retiring from this race. I don't know what's happened to Jono, but I'll keep talking. Yeah, well, it was a great race. A bit of hectic battling going on, bit of chaos as well. And, well, it was absolutely dramatic. I'm just having a look at the fastest lap time. Looked like it was by Iron West. A 1:15.9, only time in the 1:15s. And what a day it would have been to cap off with that podium. Unfortunately for him, though, it didn't quite work out. Spun at the last corner. And, well, that is it's terrible for him, but it is a learning curve. It's a very steep learning curve as well, and I'm sure he'll bounce back from it.
Yeah, what a shame for him though. Last corner of the last lap. I mean, you're pretty much home and dry, aren't you? You're already thinking about your finishing position, and then you're facing the wrong way. So shame for him, but again, showed good pace in this tier, and still got 5th position, I think it was, out of that. So he still managed to get to the end that was the main thing in the end. And just a great race. So many battles there throughout the field. Again, so much side-by-side racing, and a few DNFs along the way as well. But we were served up with a great Mexican Grand Prix, I think. And Donkel, we just keep getting different winners all the time. Reflow obviously bounced back last week with the win. Donkel this week. Will Sam be able to get back on the top spot next week, I wonder?
You can find out next week when we head to the Brazilian Grand Prix for the penultimate round of season number 12, a season that has flown by with great action up and down the field. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you hit the notification bell just so you're notified every time we go live. Make sure as well you follow OneHub on Twitter at OneHub Racing. Whilst you're there, you can also follow me there if you really want to at KSMCGF1. You can also follow Jono there.
Yeah, at Jono F1.
And hopefully we will see you there. Make sure as well you head over to the Prestige tier. They're about 6 minutes into qualifying now, so hopefully they will be able to round off your night with some great racing there as well. But it's got a lot to live up to, Jono, that Prestige tier after this one.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot to live up to. And every week we just seem to have these breathless races now. We did last week as well. And we talked about it at length in the talk show because there was certainly plenty to talk about it. But again, this week they bounced back with just more. There's just non-stop action, is there, every single week. And season might be coming to a close, but we've still got a couple of rides left yet, which I'm sure will deliver fantastic racing.
And we hope to see you there 8 p.m. GMT next Friday. Until then, though, I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been John Worth.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.